God's timing, not
Hey y'all,
ours.
hey. So in this season, it is time for us to learn how to pray, ask, receive, but also in our praying, we have to learn to give it to God. Give it to God. After you have prayed, after you have believed, after you have received in your heart, give the situation over to God. No longer worry about the situation, no longer toil with the situation, no longer deal with the situation mentally. We have to learn to let God do what God does in this season. There's so many things that we have prayed about. There's so many things that we have, declared and decreed, but do we truly trust God? This is the season where God is going to make himself known, but we must be able to do what we're instructed to do in this season, and that is to truly believe for what it is we're asking God to do in our lives. Do you really believe, or are you just praying things that you heard that you should pray? Are you coming to God with purity in your heart? Do you really understand what you're asking God for? Are you even ready for what you're asking God for? Those are some of the questions that we must learn to ask ourselves. Those are some of the questions that we must learn to deal with and operate from. Are we even ready for what we're asking for? Are we at the capacity to handle what it is that we're asking for? There's so many things going on right now, but most of all, people are losing faith and hope in God because why? They don't have the patience, the understanding, or wisdom to sit and listen to God and see what it is He's saying for their lives. Everything does not happen in our timing, and that's what we're all learning. Everything is not in our timing, it's not in our season, but it's in God's timing. When God says it should happen, the season God declares that we're in. And that's unfortunately it is. That's the hard part, is the waiting, 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 waiting. What is your heart posture while you're waiting? What are you saying to God while you're waiting? Are you going into prayer and believing one thing and coming out in contradiction? It's been so many times people go in and pray for one thing, but when it doesn't happen, when they think it should happen, they're going in and contradicting the very thing that they have prayed for. We must learn to stand on the things, the promises of God. Because why? God said it, and so it is, and that settles it. It's all in God's timing.